They know their wildlife over there in Australia, unbelievable. They have koala bears over there. They've so many of them, they've actually trained them to work in the cities. And get your guess, right? What job do you think koala bears do in Sydney at the moment? What job are they trained to do? Give me a guess. What's that?
To be bears.
To be bears. They're kind of, doesn't take much training, Tracy, to be honest. Given that it's already a bear, it really, unless you want to be a different kind, you're no koala, you're a grizzly, get out there, go on, get out there, koala. Give me another guess. What do they train them to do? Koala bears. Cuddle is glorious. What a beautiful idea. They train them to work as professional cuddles. That's a fabulous idea. All over Sydney, there'll just be podiums sitting there with a koala on it, and you can walk up and go, I'm a bit down at the moment. And the koala will go, come here, come here. All right, now you shouldn't have now. Thanks very much. Brilliant suggestion. Give me one more suggestion. As phone sex operators. They train the koalas to work as phone sex, not actually just as operators, not actually to do the thing, but to go, I'll put you through now. So, well, you sound like you need a bit of loving, do you? Well, there's a very strict woman on line 4. I'll give it that to her, right? Because koalas are very good at that kind of notion like that. Whereas it actually to talk to the customers, oh, do you want to see what I'm wearing? I'm all furry and exciting, right? I'm the furriest little koala you've ever seen. I'm slipping out of the fur at the moment. Look at that. Do you like that? That's kind of sick. That's weird. What they actually train, the job they actually train koala bears to do in Sydney is to work as bicycle locks. You take the koala, you put him in the frame of the bicycle, his little hands reach around through the spokes of the wheel, and then he just holds on to the bicycle like that. The finest answer I ever received, though, was in a university in Dublin, and I said, what job do they train them to do? And a student there went, is it guides for the blind? And I said, well, surely they'd use dogs for that. And she said, not for walking, for climbing. It's a glorious notion. The dog would walk the blind person to the foot of the tree, at which point control would be handed over to the koala bear, who would then walk the blind person up past difficult clumps of branches and whatnot, till they got to the top, where presumably it would then describe the view to the blind person.
Do you love London? I love London. I feel like London is created by the people, right? Who are just crazy and sexy and ambitious. I got into an Uber the other day, not bragging, and I got into an Uber and the driver, he said, would you like to have the radio on? And I was like, oh, I don't mind, it's up to you. And then he said, well, actually, I make my own music. Do you mind if I put some of that on? No, I don't. And then he put on Drake's new album. I wonder how often it works. I wonder how often there's a middle-aged white woman thinking, oh, well, he looks like Aladdin and he sounds like confidence personified. Pull over and jump in the back, Nikolai. I'm having a good life. I have recently started doing yoga, which is just change. Yes, woo for the yoga over there. Are you a team? I'm new to it. I love it. Yoga has changed my life. It's brilliant. Yoga is my new drug. My old drug was drugs. Which I'm not going to say anything positive about because it would be incredibly irresponsible. I'm not going to say anything positive about drug taking. What I will say is I didn't take MDMA until I was 32, and it was such a relief to know I could be happy. it's broken. But yoga is nearly as good. And there's no downsides. It's given me a whole new language. My favourite new word is namaste. Yeah, it's a very old word. It's very sacred. And it means the yoga has finished now. And then you're allowed to leave. I think that the key to being happy as you get older is self-acceptance. Like, I have to accept things about myself now. Like, I'm 36, I thought I would have children by now, and I don't. In an ideal world, what I wanted to self-fertilise. I wanted to have children that were exactly my genetics so that I could show them to my parents and go, see, it was my childhood, they're fine. Science can't do that yet. And then I had a crazy day last month where I just thought, I'm just going to buy some sperm. I'm just going to buy some sperm off the internet. I've got a good job. I'm just going to buy some sperm. Guys, sperm is so much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. It is tens of thousands of pounds. We are all wasting a valuable resource. 17-year-old me would have been a millionaire if I'd learned how to catch it and chuck it in the freezer. It's a shock. I do think self-acceptance is the key. Like, there's things about myself I don't like, but I just have to accept now that they're not going to change. This is who I am. Like, so for instance, I don't like art. I think art is rubbish. I think lots of people think art is rubbish, but we're too worried of looking stupid, so we go along with it. I think that the worst art form is theatre. Right, okay, I can sense how unpopular this opinion is. Hear me out. I think theatre is diabolical. Look, I do, look, and also, I'm aware, if you are a performer of some kind, if you're an actor, look, please don't be offended. I don't mean being in the play. Obviously, if you're the person in the play that gets to put a wig on and walk up and down and move your arms and project your voice, saying things like, I think you'll find you're contradicting yourself, Alan. Fun. Having to watch it. Dear Christ. I can't concentrate. I can't lose myself in the story. I know that it's not real because I'm surrounded by people eating crisps. And they don't let you look at your phone. So all you're thinking is, well, how long has it been?
Oh, we have a great show for you tonight. We have a fantastic show. Very funny comedians. I know funny. I do very funny. People always ask me who I think is funny. That's the number 2 question I get asked as a comedian. The number 1 question I get asked as a comedian is, have you ever died? As soon as you tell someone you're a comedian, first thing they want to know, oh, you ever died? Oh, what's it like when no one laughs? Oh, tell us about the worst gig you've ever had in your life. Please, relive for me, in minute detail, the worst moment of your professional career. Have you ever really died? It's like saying to a doctor, tell us about the last patient you lost. What happened? With the family crying. I bet they were they? Yeah. People are such ghouls. It's the number 1 question. Have you ever died? Number 2 question, though, is what makes you laugh? People always want to know that from me. Who do you think is funny? And that's a nicer question. That's more understandable. You know, I make people laugh. People want to know what makes me laugh. In the same ways you might say to your hairdresser, who cuts your hair? Or you might say to someone in an Audi, who do you think drives like a cock? Same kind of thing. I like that joke. It's a short joke, it's a sharp joke, and also with that joke, I get to spot every Audi driver in the room. I can just see it there. Pinched expression on your face there. All right, no need to be like that about it. I've done well for myself. It's a very reliable machine. And the fact that I can tell you're an Audi driver by the expression on your face means technically you've just given a form of indication. So well done. Good for you. Who knew you could do it? Yeah. Have you ever died? Who do you think is funny? You always get asked the same questions. That's why I don't like doing interviews. I love doing this job. This is great. I love standing here talking to you, though. But doing interviews, it's a necessary evil. It's part of the job. I having to answer questions. And I don't even like watching interviews. You'd rather watch a comedian tell jokes than talk about how they wrote them. You'd rather watch a singer sing songs than talk about their inspiration. You'd rather watch a sports person do their sport. You'd certainly rather watch a sports person do their sport. Come on now. Sports interviews can be turgid affairs at best. And then I hit it with my foot. You mean you kicked it? If you like. They're really interesting. And I'm not slagging sports people. It takes a great deal of single-mindedness to excel at a sport to a point where people want to interview you about it. But sports people are famous because they're good at sport, not because they're good at talking about sport. That's why you find a sports person who is good at talking about sport, the BBC will cream their knickers over them. We found a woman. She used to ride horses. That's a sport. And she's quite lively and engaging and charismatic. Put her on absolutely everything! Do not let her out of your their sight. Even people I'm a fan of. Andy Murray. I love Andy Murray. Britain should be very proud of Andy Murray. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. And he put up with a lot of shit when he was named, what, 8th best in the world? Oh, you bloody loser, you. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. He's magnanimous in victory. He's humble in defeat. And he's a big comedy fan. He's been to see me live. I've met him. Lovely bloke. But Jesus Christ. I cannot listen to him drone on one more time about how he won, stroke lost another tennis match. I can't do it. Well, then I hit it to him, and he hit it back to me, and I'm very good at tennis, but he is also very good at tennis. Some days I'm better at tennis than he is, but I think what's happened today was he was slightly better at tennis than I am, and that's maybe why he won the game of the tennis. Oh, for God's sake, man! I'm not very sporty, you can probably tell. I like hill walking. Doesn't really count as a sport. I like hill walking and camping. Proper camping, though. None of your glamping bullshit. Glamping. Derivation of the words glamorous and camping, where you stay in a yurt, which is more expensive than a hotel. What is wrong with you? A lot of people don't realize yurt is a derivation of the words yura and twat. A lot of people don't realize that.
I've met some crazy people and with some crazy ideologies. One of the craziest people I met, and the funniest, were these guys called the Black Israelites. If you don't know the Black Israelites, right, it's a group of black dudes in New York, right, and they think the black man's the original Jew, right? They think the white man's the devil. I mean, look, you know, they have a point, right? And they think Jesus, right, is coming back to put white people in slavery, right? Which, look, I think is messed up. Because I think white people would make terrible slaves. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, you whip them once, they run to the manager. You know, you try and give them bread and water. Is it gluten-free? No. It's not gluten-free. I know some old white woman making my dinner and stuff like, Margaret, if you make me another shepherd's pie, I'm gonna sell your ass. The sandwich porch. Start selling people. I don't know. I get called a lot of stuff now. Especially with the internet, I get called tons of stuff. I get called racist words, and I get called racist for making jokes about white people. I just want to say my mom's white. I have one at home. She's fine. I have no issues with white people. Love white people, right? But everyone calls me mad things. And I'll be honest with you, when you get called a lot of stuff, you have to have a thick skin. You can't let it bother you, because it'll just get you down if you always listen to that stuff. And it's never bothered me, except for one time. Someone said something about me, and it just really annoyed. Basically, someone called me middle class, and it just really... I threw my avocado on the floor. I was perturbed. I was like, Mother, take this away. I can't finish this avocado. Middle class? I ain't middle class. I'm not you. I'm from Ilford, man. If you don't know Ilford, it's in between East London. Don't you cheer Ilford, goddammit, you hooligan. Ilford is horrible. It's in between East London and hell. That's where Ilford is. Don't want to go Ilford, right? And it's that weird thing. It's like you work hard and then people think they can take away your identity from you. And that's like a weird point. It's like you can't be working class because you've worked hard. You get to play lovely gigs like this. You can't be what you are. And the thing is, like, I am working class in my heart. But there's a conflict. My brain says different sometimes. You know? Like, sometimes my friends will call me from prison. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. They'll call me up and they'll be like, yo, Jamali, you need to start repping for the mandem. And I go, you know what? I need to start repping for the mandem. They say, you need to start saying free the mandem. I'm like, you know what? I need to start saying free the mandem. And that's in my heart. I believe that. We should free the mandem. But then my brain goes, yes, Jamali. But now you have stuff they want to steal. So I'm like, yeah, free the mandem. If they've completed the course, maybe. I don't know. Free them up if they've, you know, if they've repented. I don't know. If they ring me up, they'll be like, yo, say free Ginger J. Free Ginger J. Say free Worm. Is Worm still locked up? You better free him. Say free Killer. Nah, I don't know about Killer, man. I'm not saying we should never free Killer, just don't free him where I live. Because I live in a nice gentrified area now, just what I'm saying. So it's like, and I'm angry at gentrification, but it's hard because it's delicious. I'm drinking my latte going, oh, these hipsters, do you know? Like, so yeah, free hit Killer, but just not where I live, not in my community. Because gentrification is a weird one. Because does anyone remember when London was shit? Like, Hammersmith was shit. None of you would have been able to be here. It was that bad. It was never Peckham shit. Peckham was shit. I go as far as Bethnal Green and look at Peckham through a telescope. That's as far as I go. But gentrification is a weird one because can we disagree that you see like middle-class hipsters that moved to the ghetto pre-gentrification are some of the most bravest people in the world? Only a hipster can go to the hood and go, no, I see potential. Seriously.
We're here to talk about relationships. Let's crack straight on with the first slide. Making... Don't laugh at that. That's not meant to be funny, please. Let's not have another Folkestone on our hands, please. Making divorce work. Now, given that it is a rocky ride, an emotional roller coaster, I start off with a joke, ladies and gentlemen, just to loosen us up. Here it is. If you're going to get divorced, you have to be like the man in the toll booth. Why is that, Keith? Well, you have to be willing to accept, this is the joke, change. It's a zinger. When you divorce, there is sweeping change. Change is right across your life, in every area. One of the first things to change is the locks. Please don't laugh at that, please. You may come home one day and find that your key no longer fits your wife's lock. Another man's key is fitting your wife's lock. And stop it! Stop, I'm stamping on that. Riaz, with a Z, please, stop it. It's not that sort of a show. Well, I mean, it's not a show, is it? It's a talk. But it's not smutty. So you may come home and find that your key no longer fits the lock. Good? Yes, it can. And it can be very difficult to tell why a relationship is going to go wrong. Why is that? Well, I think it's because at the beginning of any relationship, when two people get together, there's always a sense of what? Hammersmith, at the beginning of a relationship, a sense of... Pardon? Worry. No. Anyone else? At the beginning of a relationship, a sense of... Foreboding. Foreboding is the wrong answer. Lust. No. Uncertainty. There's always a sense of uncertainty. A feeling of will they, won't they? And there's no way of... Please, Hammersmith, take it seriously. We're talking about emotions. A sense of will they, won't they? And there's no... Hammersmith, I will walk off the stage, please. There's no way of predicting when a couple get together whether or not the relationship will work. Will it last a long time? No. Not a chance in hell. Will they stick together? No. Will the marriage endure? Yes. Lee and Leslie. Now, Lee and Leslie are a lesson to us all. They've made a marriage work. So why is it then that when they can make a marriage work, so many others can't? Paul Simon said, there are 50 ways to leave your lover. 1. Hammersmith, time out. Please start to take it seriously. 1. Slip out the back, Jack. 2. Make a new plan, Stan. And 48 others.
It's chaos out there, isn't it? We like to convince ourselves we're logical creatures, but we're not. And it's chaos out there. It's madness. They sell matches in petrol stations. It's chaos out there. Like, I was listening to this debate show recently on the radio, and they were talking about cannabis legalization. And the people in the cheap seats are very excited. But they were talking about it, cannabis legalization. And there was a guy on there making some pretty good points, and he kept saying, look, there's no logic to the fact that you can buy alcohol in this country legally, but you can't buy weed, which is a far less dangerous drug. And some of you, well, yeah. Look, some of you might agree with that, and some of you might not. But the thing is, that argument ignores the huge swathes of things that we can buy. There's absolutely no logical reason for us to be able to buy. Like, yeah, you can't buy weed. Maybe you should be able to. Do you know what you can buy? Do you know what every single person in this room could buy tomorrow if we wanted to, and there's no debate as to whether it's right or wrong? A horse. You've taken it very well as an audience. You know what a horse is, right, mate? You know what a horse is? Massive furry van with no respect for human life. You know what a horse is? Stand behind it, kicks you in the head, you're just dead, you can just buy one. Does anyone else find that weird? Anyone can buy a horse? Anyone can buy a horse. Anyone. I live in a third-storey flat in South London. I can buy a horse, ride it down the high street, take it up the stairs. I've broken no laws. It's harder to buy scissors. Maybe you don't believe me. I get that, maybe you don't. Frankly, I didn't believe me. I wrote this routine. I was like, come on, Sean. Come on, you can't just buy a horse. You've got to need land or permits or something like that. So I went on Google. Not only can you genuinely just buy a horse, right? I am not making this up. Do you know how much it costs? £40 for a horse. Do you know what a horse is? When word gets out, it's £40 a horse. Society is going to change immeasurably. I mean, for a start, Uber are finished. It's over. It's done. Honestly. You think Friday nights are rough as it is. You wait until every stag do in the country's got a steed dressed as a minion, all right? In many ways, might be the best thing that ever happened to us. I do think that. Think of all the problems it could solve if we went back to horseback. Think of it. Biggest problem at the moment, cost of living crisis. Petrol's through the roof. How am I going to get around? I can't afford my car tax. £40 horse, one payment, easy, done. £40, you can go where you want. You might be thinking, well, sure, you need to clothe a horse, you need to feed a horse. Here's the thing with a £40 horse. No, you fucking don't. It's a £40 horse. It's a £40 horse. It's a £40 horse. What else are you going to do? Just leave it at the side of the road. It's like those scooters. It's easy. What else are you going to do with a £40 horse, please? You wouldn't trust the glue to hold up a pin.
But we've moved now. We've moved to a place called Pinner. We only moved to Pinner because the estate agent said to us, he said, oh, Pinner is a lovely part of West London. Right? West London. We get Welsh telly. It's not London. It's not London. But it is very nice. One of the things I like about where we live is it's very multicultural. I think that's one of the brilliant things about London. I think multiculturalism is something we really have to fight for. Like the school my kids go to, it was very easy to pick a school for my kids because obviously we just picked the one with the highest ceilings. But the school they go to, it's a really nice school and it's very diverse. Like we have a mum's night out once a month and all the mums from the school go and there are women there from every economic background, every race, every religion, and we have a fantastic time and the Muslim mums drive us home. Tell you what, it is nice. I had an incident the other day, though. I was walking down the street near where I live, and it was one of those sunny days, one of those days that remind some van drivers that women have breasts. You know, one of those. And I was walking down the street, and there was a van drove up and slowed down, and two guys leaned out of the van, and they were in classic kind of leching position. And I knew they weren't going to be looking at me because I am 44 years old. And in fact, my older friends, when I was turning 40, they said, oh, being over 40, it makes you invisible, right? And I have found, yes, that is true, but the brilliant thing is it mostly makes you invisible to dickheads. So it's not really a problem, it's a superpower, if anything. So I'm walking down the street, these two guys are leaning out of this van, and I see they're leching, but they're looking past me at a younger woman, a woman in her 20s, who is walking alongside me. And these guys do the classic thing. They lean out of the van and they gave this woman a very detailed appraisal of her anatomy. You know, they covered all the main areas in bullet-pointed form, very thorough. And then they went on to suggest what I can only describe as a smorgasbord of activities they felt they would enjoy indulging in with her were they not under pressure of time to get to the next plumbing job. So they did all this and they drove off. And naturally, I turned to this woman and I said, oh my gosh, are you okay? That was horrific. And she said, no, I'm fine. It happens all the time. And I thought, yeah, it does when you're in your 20s, doesn't it? And we were chatting about how silly it was as we walked down the street. And then we got further down the road and the traffic had slowed down and this van had come to a stop. And I think a few years ago I would have just left it, said nothing. But this year I thought, you know what, if I'm going to be invisible, you know who else is invisible? Ninjas. I'm going to be a bloody middle-aged ninja. I'm going to strike, right? So I went up to the van and I just leaned in and I said, oh, hi, guys. Listen, sorry to bother you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for what you did back there because my son here has been undergoing a very difficult gender reassignment. He's been worried that it's not going that well, but what you did back there really made him feel like a proper woman. Right? Thank you. I was delighted with myself as well. But what was really special was that then the young woman next to me leaned in beside me and in the deepest voice I've ever heard, just went, yeah, thanks, guys. It was a beautiful moment. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. The only thing that could have made it perfect would have been if the guys in the van had said, actually, if your child is undergoing a gender reassignment, it's incredibly insensitive of you still to be referring to her using the male pronoun. They didn't do that. They just called us slags.
Do you love London? I love London. I feel like London is created by the people, right, who are just crazy and sexy and ambitious. I got into an Uber the other day, not bragging, and I got into an Uber and the driver, he said, would you like to have the radio on? And I was like, oh, I don't mind, it's up to you. And then he said, well, actually, I make my own music. Do you mind if I put some of that on? No, I don't. And then he put on Drake's new album. I wonder how often it works. I wonder how often there's a middle-aged white woman thinking, oh, well, he looks like Aladdin and he sounds like confidence personified. Pull over and jump in the back, Nikolai. I'm having a good life. I have recently started doing yoga, which is just change. Yes, woo for the yoga over there. Are you a team? I'm new to it. I love it. Yoga has changed my life. It's brilliant. Yoga is my new drug. My old drug was drugs. Which I'm not going to say anything positive about because it would be incredibly irresponsible. I'm not going to say anything positive about drug taking. What I will say is I didn't take MDMA until I was 32, and it was such a relief to know I could be happy. The equipment's broken. But yoga is nearly as good, and there's no downsides. It's given me a whole new language. My favourite new word is namaste. Yeah, it's a very old word, it's very sacred, and it means the yoga has finished now. And then you're allowed to leave. I I think that the key to being happy as you get older is self-acceptance. Like, I have to accept things about myself now. Like, I'm 36, I thought I would have children by now, and I don't. In an ideal world, what I wanted to self-fertilise. I wanted to have children that were exactly my genetics so that I could show them to my parents and go, see, it was my childhood, they're fine. Science can't do that yet. And then I had a crazy day last month where I just thought, I'm just going to buy some sperm. I'm just going to buy some sperm off the internet. I've got a good job. I'm just going to buy some sperm. Guys, sperm is so much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. It is tens of thousands of pounds. We are all wasting a valuable resource. 17-year-old me would have been a millionaire if I'd learned how to catch it and chuck it in the freezer. So expensive. It's a shock. I do think self-acceptance is the key. Like, there's things about myself I don't like, but I just have to accept now that they're not going to change. This is who I am. Like, so for instance, I don't like art. I think art is rubbish. I think lots of people think art is rubbish, but we're too worried of looking stupid, so we go along with it. I think that the worst art form is theatre. Right, okay, I can sense how unpopular this opinion is. Hear me out. I think theatre is diabolical. Look, I do, look, and also, I'm aware, if you are a performer of some kind, if you're an actor, look, please don't be offended. I don't mean being in the play. Obviously, if you're the person in the play that gets to put a wig on and walk up and down and move your arms and project your voice, saying things like, I think you'll find you're contradicting yourself, Alan. Fun. Having to watch it. Dear Christ. I can't concentrate. I can't lose myself in the story. I know that it's not real because I'm surrounded by people eating crisps. And they don't let you look at your phone. So all you're thinking is, well, how long has it been?
Lovely to be here. I've come all the way from Brighton. Just in case you're wondering what this haircut is about. Might be a new face for some of you people. Don't panic, the BBC invited me here because they needed a beige lesbian. So I'm just here to tick some boxes. Not your box, madam, just a metaphorical box. I'm half Spanish, that's what's happening there. I've got a Spanish mum, and she lives here in the UK. It's all very legal. She's lived longer in the UK than she's ever lived in Spain, but the brilliant thing about my mum is that she's never lost her accent. She's done very, very quickly. She's lost her words she cannot pronounce. Lost her words she cannot pronounce, huh? My favourite word that my mum's never been able to pronounce is my brother's name. It's not even a difficult name, his name's Stephen. Notice this, Spanish people, any word that begins with the letter S, they struggle, right? So my mum doesn't call him Stephen, she calls him Steven. What's his name, Mum? Steven. Is it? Isn't it just Stephen? Even if I know his name is my son, it is Steven! You don't want to mess with my mum. She's not like British people here in this country. We can be quite passive-aggressive, can't we? She's just very aggressive woman. I don't know how my mum's never really coped in this country, and I think it's because, like a lot of Mediterranean people, she's quite loud, yeah? She's got one volume. It's like this. Hello! How are you? Whereas in this country, particularly if we're middle class, we tend to be low talkers, don't we? We don't like to raise our voices, do we? Why? Because we've got money. And we just assume that if you are raising your voice, well, you're probably poor. Or worse, foreign. Great thing about having a Mediterranean mum is they feed you. Oh, my God. She's always feeding. That's her way of showing that she loves her children, is to feed us. You know, I can remember going around friends' houses, you know, like English mums. Go around an English mum's house and the conversation with mum's more like this. I think you've had enough. My mum will feed you till you puke. in my life and my mum will relate it back to a meal that she's cooked. Do you know what I mean? Like, so good or bad, particularly if I'm depressed. If I phone up my mum and I've had a terrible day, yeah? I phone up my mum, conversation always goes like this. Oh, Jennifer, my God, I'm so sorry to hear that you're having a hard time right now. But you know what? Don't worry, okay? I made a soup. Come home. You sound hungry. I made a chicken curry, I made a lamb tagine, I made a casserole, Jennifer. I made some tortillas, some paella, some curry, Jennifer. You love curry, maybe some meatballs, some pork ball, beef ball, aniseed ball, banana ball. You're a lesbian. You don't eat enough balls. Please, come home. Eat my balls.
That has done me the world of good. Thank you for that. Because I was waiting back there behind the big billboard, absolutely terrified. I'm not a natural performer. I'm not, although I have been doing this talk around the country for about 2 months now. I won't lie to you, it's not been going very well. I think the worst one was Folkestone. I have never seen an audience turn so quickly. Rushing at the stage, anger in their faces. Refund! Refund! It was horrific. I'll try and paint a picture for you. Youngsters will know what I'm talking about. Are there any youngsters in the... You can relax, sir. Well, oh, there's a youngster. What is your name, sir?
Riyadh.
What's that?
Riyadh.
Riyadh.
With
What?
a Z. Riyadh with a Z.
Riyadh with a Z. All right, it's not Sesame Street. Riyadh, how old are you?
18.
18? Shouldn't you be wearing a hooded top? Get out of my shopping centre! Riyadh. Don't laugh at Riyadh, please. You'll know what I mean, Riyadh, when I talk about stage diving. Are you familiar? You won't know what I'm talking about, sir, but this is when a rock star, like a Kurt Cobain or a Duncan from Blue, they run and they leap, and you're right to be afraid, you're right to be afraid. They leap onto the audience, Riyadh. It's terrifying. The audience grab hold of them and manhandle them. Turning them around like that, all over the place. Terrifying. Now, what happened at Folkestone was almost a complete reversal of that. with people just rushing at the stage. It was appalling. But I don't think we're going to have a repeat of that tonight. I don't. Because I'm already getting a lot of warmth from you. I am. To quote the great Darius Danesh, there's a lot of love in the room. There is. And a wide range. We've got Riyadh with a Z. No one can take that away from you, Riyadh. I wouldn't try to. You'd whip out your hooded top and you'd happy slap me into submission. But it's a friendly crowd. We've got a proper... Look, here we go. Right down in the front, there's a chap here wearing a T-shirt with a slogan on it. Unbelievable. A grown man. What is your name, sir?
Chris.
Chris, with a Z? Riyadh, you're one up. You're ahead. I'll bet there aren't many other people in the whole building who have a Z in their name, in all honesty. Unless Zebedee's joined us tonight, which I think is unlikely. So you're a Chris.
Yes.
Chris. And what's the idea with the T-shirt, Chris? Is it Rag Week?
This is true, this. Does anyone know, I fail my test. Can anyone tell me what happens, right? If you're on your driving test and an animal ran out in front of the car, what are you supposed to do? supposed to run it over. That's the right answer. They say anything else is a danger to other road users. I'm on my test. Everything's going great. Suddenly, this goat ran out in front of the car. So I remembered what he said, and I kept driving. A few seconds later, I look in my rearview mirror. The goat is fine. I've missed him by millimetres. Now, obviously, I didn't want to fail my test. So I slapped it in reverse like that. Yeah, I must have been chasing that little fucker through that field for 45 minutes before I ran over his head, and he still failed me. Where's the justice in that? You actually look a bit like my driving instructor, madam. With those fantastic specs and that hair. You've gone for the old Eric Morecambe meets Demi Moore look, haven't you? That's fantastic. Actually, lend me those glasses for a second. Just, you do. What's your name, madam? Lyndall. Where are you from? Mordor? Lyndall. My name is Lyndall. Are you searching for a ring? That's Australian. Oh, fantastic. I'm not going to take the mickey out of the Australians. You're the same as us, aren't you? Different pronunciations, you know. You say yogurt, we say yoghurt. You have prawns on the barbie, we have yoghurt. You use KY jelly. It's yoghurt, I'm not explaining them all. You say BYO, we say good guess. The question was, how do you spell boy? Arsenal! What do you do for a living? Are you a welder? It's true, actually, my driving instructor wore glasses. This is the other reason she failed me as well. We're driving down the road. She said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap my hand on the dashboard. I want you to make an emergency stop as though a small child has stepped out in front of the car. Before he could put his belt on, or she, doesn't matter because I'm making it up, right? Before the person could put their belt on, right, I hit my brakes like that, and he hit his head full on the window like this. I'll just show it off now. Oh, bad job! Hey! Hey! And he turned around to me and said, why don't you wait till I slap me hand on the dashboard? I said, there's a child's life at stake here. I haven't got time to mess about with games, mate. Oh, sorry, you didn't see any of that, did you? No, sorry. You were just sat there, weren't you, going, what's he doing? What's that noise? Has he got a kind face?
We're very fortunate. We had a wonderful time in our life. I became a dad 18 months ago. Yeah, he's actually 9 years old, but I've only just started getting involved. The hard work's done. I'll step in now, I think. No, he's a baby. He's a wonderful boy. It's stressful, very stressful. Not for me, for my little boy. Very stressful being a baby. His socks just fall off all day. Just start the day, you look down, his socks are off again. Imagine if you were going through that as adults. Your mental health would be in the gutter if you were going through that. I'm amazed it isn't more baby's first words when they learn to speak, not mum or dada. What the fuck's going on with these socks? Seriously. Mad being a baby. My little boy, he's 18 months old. He's got 3 xylophones. Why would anybody need 3 xylophones? There's professional xylophone players with less xylophones than this kid. I said to my wife, I said, why has he got 3 xylophones? She goes, oh, he likes to play one in the bath. That's some kind of eccentric billionaire. What is going on here? I'm enjoying being a dad. It's changed my whole perspective, to be honest, being a dad. Like, growing up, I used to think that I had an angry dad. Growing up, I always thought I had an angry dad. And now I'm a dad, and I'm like, oh, no. We just pushed a very reasonable man to breaking point. just a lovely guy. I think being a parent is a lot like eating a pomegranate. Like, there's really nice little bits, but ultimately, I'm not sure it's worth it. It's really hard. People give you mad advice as well when you have a kid. My little boy, actually, he's about a week old. I was holding him, and my mum, actually, she said, Josh, just think, that little boy you're holding there could go on to be anything he wants to be. He could be a top doctor, a politician, an astronaut. I was like, wow, that's incredible. But also, I wouldn't have thought so. An astronaut, from me to an astronaut in one generation. That's a hell of a leap. I went to the pub the other day. It was a push door. I was pulling it. I thought the pub was closed. I just went home. I could see people inside. Well, how have they got in there? What's going on? NASA are not knocking down my door. I don't think he'll be a politician either, because he's going to go to the same shit school in the Midlands that I went to. And politicians, they all go to the posh schools, don't they? And people don't like that. They say, politicians, they all go to the posh schools. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. I don't think you'd want anybody from my school being in charge of the country. Maybe this is very progressive, but I think if you learn maths in a porter cabin, don't get involved in government. I don't know. If you learn about history by watching Blackadder on a wheeled-in TV, stay out of it.
I have a theory that masturbation is a kind of summoning spell for your own rational mind. Because we're all so driven by hormones and by desire. Sometimes you've got to have a wank to speak to your real self. You have a wank, you go, I should have shagged my ex one last time. I'll text her, I'll meet her, I'll shag her. And then you come and a little voice comes on in your head that goes, yeah, don't do that, mate. You've got to be careful with jokes, haven't you? Because not everybody's got a sense of humour. I can remember when I first realised not everybody's got a sense of humour. I was 13, I was at school, and we were doing a class on stereotypes. The teacher was a really good guy. He's just talking about how stupid stereotypes are. And he was talking about a stereotype that day that's so old-fashioned and so Scottish that you definitely won't have heard it. Have you ever heard the stereotype that deaf people are really strong? That was a genuine thing when I was growing up. Deaf people, particularly deaf and dumb people, were believed to be really strong. And the teacher said, think how stupid that is. Have you ever seen a deaf contender for the heavyweight championship of the world? And me, aged 13, I put my hand up and I went, there was one, sir, but he was disqualified for punching after the bell. And nobody laughed. And I knew right then that life was going to feel pretty long. You've got to have a bit of leeway with jokes, haven't you? I can't write jokes for the average person, can I? The average person is Chinese. So I'm from Glasgow, a city where people think that hepatitis B is a fucking vitamin. To explain Glasgow's attitude to you, this happened to me recently. I was having a wee snooze in a park, because my career's been going really well lately. I was having a wee doze under a tree, and a guy came up to me and he went, do you know your problem? You're fucking unapproachable. Glasgow's like an entirely negative city. I went to a coffee shop one time. 2 middle-aged women sat across from me, and they started to moan as they sat down about how long they thought the coffee was going to take. So nothing had happened, and they were both angry. And coffee turned up, and the first one takes a sip and goes, "That's not very good, is it?" And the second one takes a sip of hers and goes, "I don't even like coffee." I think English people don't really understand Scottish attitudes. You think that we all just want to see the English football team get beaten. But actually, a lot of us would much rather see the team plane crash into an oil refinery. I enjoyed reading about Sam Allardyce. I didn't realise English football had a corruption problem. I thought the only problems in English football were racism, sexism, homophobia, match fixing, gambling, sexual assaults, and the failure to perform at major tournaments.
I've made a list of pros and cons, because I've been spending a lot of time in brothels and prisons. Made a list of pros and cons, always good, give you a bit of balance, Con, complete loss of all feelings of hope and possibility. It doesn't sound very good, does it? It doesn't sound much fun, does it? Pro, increased plug socket access. 1-1. I say increased, it's actually total plug socket access. I've got 32 plug sockets in my house. Each and every one of them is now under my sole domain. Con, all experiences that formed the basis of my happiness and sense of self-worth are now destroyed by grief. Downer. A bit of a downer, isn't it? Pro, less recycling. I can fit it all in the green box now. It's remarkable when you take into account just how much I'm drinking. Oh, John, you're meant to heat mulled wine. All right, Your Highness, hand me the bottle and leave. Con, I'm gonna lose me house. Bit of fun. Pro, 25% off council tax. I was on that like a ferret. Dialing as the door slammed. And that's us fresh out of cons. The rest are just pros, guys. Yeah. Increased freezer space, all 4 drawers. Cheaper gas and electric. Reduced wear and tear on fixtures and fittings. And when I say reduced, I don't mean by half, because I was only ever responsible for about 10% of scuffs and spills. So we're looking at a net reduction of 90% in real terms. This is my favourite one. Ultimate control over where the iPhone charger cable is and why it is there. There was a time it would take hours to answer the questions, where is the iPhone charger cable and why is it there? Not anymore. Plugged in next to the bed, most convenient place to have it. Simple. Is it unplugged in the bathroom? No, it's not. Be a ludicrous place to keep it. There's no plug socket in the bathroom. Is it in the front pocket of a rucksack you no longer use? That'll be the last place you look. That'll be very frustrating. Is it plugged in on a train we have alighted from? No. It's plugged in next to the bed because that's the most convenient place to have it.
You know toe rings? They are rings that we wear on our toes. Then we have rings, earrings, rings people wear in their ears, yeah? eyebrow rings, nose rings, belly button rings. But these ones, rings. Because if these ones were called finger rings, make weddings pretty awkward. With this fingering, make proposal stories really awkward. Oh my God, so last night, John came over and out of nowhere just gave me the most incredible fingering. I know! I'm so happy. I mean, he asked my dad's permission first, obviously. And my dad was like, you go for it, son, you give her that fingering. And he came over, and he looked at one knee, and he said, darling, I want to give you this fingering. It's the same fingering that my grandfather gave to my grandmother. Also make Lord of the Fingerings, very different film. Okay. There is no one hearing that. Just keep learning. Life's about learning, guys. I will share with you another big thing I learned this year. Very exciting. I learned showering with a partner is not sexy. That does not seem like a big deal, but the world tells you it is sexy. But you try that shit once, and you very quickly discover that showering with a partner is not sexy. Showering with a partner is taking turns being cold. Oh, yeah. A lot of do-si-do action, a lot of, let's move around this way. Oh, why? Because I'm goddamn freezing. I'm freezing. And a lot of kissing like this. But mainly, as I get older, I just keep finding out shit that I'm wrong about. Like, you grow up and you go, I know these things, I'm sure, and then wrong. The last time I was in your lovely country, I was on one of your lovely overland trains. You know, the ones that have the toilets with the electronic science fiction doors that go, wage, wage. Now, I was sure I knew how to lock those. Nah, turns out I know how to shut them, yeah. And 12-year-old boys on the other side know how to push the open button. And I don't know if you've ever been sat on the toilet when the door opens, but look, it's everything you dream it will be. And a little bit more. Now, the thing with those doors is they take quite a long time to open. So I was desperately trying to find the close button, eventually found the close button, but the thing is, as they take quite a long time to open, similarly, take quite a long time to close. So I got to maintain eye contact with an understandably horrified 12-year-old boy as his face was being very slowly covered. It was kind of like this. And it finally shut. I sat back down and went, oh my God, I am never wearing a jumpsuit again.
I read this thing, right, online, so it must be true, where everyone who's under the age of 30 is going to live till 160. Like, you look tired now. 160? I don't want to be sat in a flat, leaking, liver spotted. Your ears and nose, they never stop growing. I'm going to be sat there looking like I work at bloody Gringotts Bank, just like, And I think if I get to 160, I'm ending it. I don't know how you do it. What are you going to do? Sort of suffocate yourself with a bag for life? I reckon the best way, and maybe like a toaster in a bath situation, but it'd be one of those like sit-down baths with a chair and a door, and then you have to wait for it all to fill up. You put in a bit of matey for a last bit of luxury, and then you go, oh shit, I forgot the toaster, and then you have to wait for it all to drain. You open the door, you go out onto the landing, down a stair lift, into the kitchen, you go, what the bloody hell have I come in here for? It's never going to happen. I'm trying to do more nice things, though. That's what I'm trying to do. Because I've never really done anything with my life. I did a thing recently. I went to go and give blood for the first time. Has anyone ever done that? It's just one woman like, yeah, I did it today. It's amazing, but I thought you did it in like a hospital. or like a sanitized medical center, you don't. You do it in like a rugby club or like a methadone church, right? I turned up to this bingo hall near my nan's house, right? I was greeted by the second moodiest person I've ever seen in my life. It was a woman called Linda. Like, her name badge said Jean, but she looked like a Linda. Do you know what I mean? Like short bob, gelled fringe, good at darts. She weren't happy. She weren't. I turned up, she goes, have you got an appointment? And I went, no. And she goes, have you filled out a form? And I went, no. And then she threw this form at me, and as I'm walking off, she goes, thank you very much for giving blood. We really appreciate it. Giving blood is the greatest gift anyone could ever receive. And I'm thinking, Linda's never been given a slow cooker. So, take this form, I start filling it out. I had to use this woman's eyeliner because Linda wouldn't lend me a pen. Just filling it all out. And as I said, the only reason I went to go and give blood is make myself feel like I'd done something with my life. And instead, I'm faced with all these very serious adult questions. It was things like, have you ever been to Africa? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a man? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a prostitute? And I thought, I've done fucking nothing with my life. Nothing. Have you injected drugs? Have you spoken drugs? Have you had any treatments in the last 6 months? I panicked. I went, oh, well, me and my mum have had facials off Groupon. Not the right answer. Weirdest question, are you HIV positive? I was like, what? Like, no. Like, if anything, I'm against it. And then they took me off into this room, and there's all these sort of like Sharons and Johns lay on beds with sort of needles in their arms. Like, it looked like a spa day for smackheads. Put a belt round my arm, not even a nice belt. They spanked it a bit, they told me to relax, and then they whipped out the biggest flipping needle I've ever seen in my life, and I just fainted. Completely fainted. I can hear all these muffled voices, and then I can hear Linda's bellowing voice just going, I knew he'd be a fainter. I'm like... By the time I'd come around, all these people are trying to help me out, and Linda just parted them. And her way of trying to make me feel better, her way of trying to make me feel like a proper grown-up was going, would you like a glass of orange juice and a biscuit? I was like, no, Linda, I want to have sex with an African gay man for money. That's what I want to bloody do.
I'm going to explain the concept and naked attraction to you, and you're going to think to yourself, Suze, previous to your gig tonight, did you nip outside and smoke some crack? Because that's how mental it is. Right, Emma, a girl walks out on stage, she's like, I'm looking for a boyfriend. And the host goes, brilliant, we've got 6 naked men in tubes behind. Then the host says to the girl, what are you looking for? And the girl will always do the same thing. She'll go, oh my God, you've really put me on the spot. And you think, no, you chose to come on this show, moron. She goes, well, I guess I'm looking for a boyfriend, but also a friend. I really like going to European city breaks, maybe someone that likes travel. And I really like music gigs as well, so maybe someone that likes music. And I guess if I'm being really honest, what I'm looking for is love. And the host goes, brilliant, let's see if you can find love by judging dongs, okay? There's a screen in front of all of them. Every round, the screen goes up a little bit more to show a little bit more of the naked body. Every round, one man gets eliminated until the end. She's got a couple of nudie fellas to choose from. Okay? Now, Emma, first round, screen just goes up to their knees. There's always one bloke. He's got really rough feet. Really rough. Like he was an extra in The Hobbit. And he just never took the feet off afterwards, right? Now, she clearly looked at them feet and thought, well, them trotters ain't coming home with me, right? And you think, well, that's the end for him, not the end. They don't shoot him. You think it's the end of the show for him, but it's not. It's not the end of the show, because he then has the indignity of the screen going the whole way up, so you see his penis and his face. Then he has the most awkward moment in television where he steps out of his tube, walks over to her, and gives her the most uncomfortable hug you have ever seen. Where you can tell all he is thinking is, don't touch the lady with your dick. Whatever you do, don't touch the stranger with your dick. And then his sad little ass walks off stage. Now, next round, the screen comes up to the waist. And let's be honest, it is the round we are all watching for. It's cock-a-clock. Now, it's not going to come as a surprise to any of you. There's a lot of people in this evening. I bet it doesn't come as a surprise to one person in this room. I ain't seen many willies. I ain't seen many of them. I ain't seen many willies. I'm not a connoisseur when it comes to willies. I was straight for a month when I was 18. I don't have the wrists, okay? But even to me, even to the untrained eye, there was one that I was like, oh, there's something up with him. There was something just not quite right about it. They're not meant to have a corner, are they? Halfway through, it had like a proper corner. Now, she clearly looked at that one and went, ooh. She can't do that, can she? She's got to go work on Monday. She don't want to look a bitch on TV. So instead, she had to do a little lie. Emma, see if you can see where she went wrong. She went, I'm going to have to get rid of number 4. Kind of weird dick. I'm going to have to get rid of number 4 because the way that he's standing, he doesn't really look like a very confident guy. And I'm only really attracted to really confident guys. And I thought, he has his penis out on television. How much more confident would you like this twat to be?
I think often a lot of people don't realise there's an actual person behind somebody's disability. And I experienced this, right, firsthand when I got lost in a park in Glasgow. I came off the path. I was in the bushes. Right, looking like a proper creepy weirdo. And I heard this guy aggressively running over at me, shouting, "Oi, you!" And I turned to face him. And he stopped dead in his tracks, went, "Oh, sorry, pal. Didn't see the stick. Thought you were a pest." You do know that's a pig guy. Yes. People only see my disability. I should see how much I can get away with. Do you know what I mean? Like, how much of a blind wronging can I be? Just go into a supermarket, blatantly shoplift a coat. I get busted trying to leave through the plate glass window again. Security guard. "Excuse me, sir, is that your coat?" "Yes, do you mind taking the security tag off it?" "Certainly, sir. Can I just see your receipt?" Like, big innocent face. Hand him a blank bit of bog roll. I bet he's not got the heart to say anything apart from, "Right, that's fine, have a nice day." But I still maintain, no, it is an excellent time to be disabled. In fact, now, in some areas, too good. To the point, I'd like to finish this evening by asking you lovely people of the Apollo a favour. Could you please stop modifying sport so I can take part? It's now getting harder and harder to moan about being excluded when I am always being made to feel so very welcome. Not everything has to be accessible. There's a message. Being blind is a brilliant reason not to have to do something. Because this guy asked me if I wanted to take part in a game of football. You cheeky bastard. "Oh, I'm going to guilt trip you, my friend. I'd love to take part in a game of football, yes, but I just don't think the blind man's that welcome in the hallowed turf." Not realising blind football, it's an established sport. What sick prick came up with that? 22 blind lads running like fuck at each other. They're trying to kick a ball with a bell in it. Guys, that's not accessible. That's a blood sport. And who goes to see it? But I did. I played my part. I took part in one game. Yeah, they put me in goals. But I learned one thing. Like, in flight, a ball with a bell in it is silent.
You don't get trained by our dads, us heterosexual single men, right? We don't get trained about how to cope if we're single. Or we get drenched in sort of misogynistic testosterone images, you must shag at all times. What if you can't? What if you're emotionally incapable, if that makes sense? Right? I am straight. Sometimes I look at myself and go, WTF, but totes am. So... Random. Why is it being so random? I love it. Say badger, badger. Oh my God, he's so groundbreaking. Every girl in this room, whether you were brought up by your mum, your nan or aunt, you had a female figure that always sat you down and went, babe, mum, I'm an adult now, I don't need to talk, I don't care. I want you to have fun tonight, but listen, if at any point you change your mind, you call me, I will come out and get you in the Nissan Micra. I will come and, mum, you're in back, I don't care, get a taxi, I will pay for it, I'll be in the cupboard, I'll be watching, checking your safe. Be honest, how many guys, especially if you're from my background, white, working class, shaven-headed, racist, cockney dad. My dad's got not one, not two, but 3 ripples of meat between head and neck, yeah? An Essex triple ripple. Want me to carry a breeze block? Stick in my triple ripple, no problem. It's unthinkable that if by some miracle I'd pulled a girl when I was 16, my dad had sat me down and gone, now, I do want you to have fun tonight, son, but do not feel any pressure whatsoever to do anything sexual, yeah? Even though your virginity shames me on a daily basis, right? And down the pub, they call me Dave, the dad of the gayer. Don't feel any pressure. That's the only thing which trumps my dad's racism is his virulent homophobia, his fear that his eldest son might be gay. Of course, that's made me more camp. There was just streams of thin men running up to my bedroom the whole time. I was into Dungeons and Dragons till I was 21. I'm going to be a wizard tonight. Downstairs, they're up there bumming. I know they're bumming. I know. Take it out, my son. What does Expelliarmus mean? Right. And of course, you know, the last time I did Apollo, it was a couple of years ago, it goes out, it was on TV in December, and I had to face my dad that Christmas, having brought him to life like this on stage. And I thought he was going to be angry, and I wasn't prepared for the softening of the alpha's face, yeah? Tears glistening his silver back as he waited for me in the kitchen. I had to chuck a poo to show he was dominant. This is what really happened. It was almost touching, Apollo, almost touching, right? You know what these dads are like? They suddenly show emotions once every 8 Christmases. They have too many Stellas and they do the wobble like that. The eyes for you, my boy, I never tell you I love you. Do you know what I mean? Where's this coming from? Right? My dad had never said it. And he's got the 5 Stella wobble, the Christmas hat. He went, come here. And he gets the programme name wrong all the time. I saw you on that live from the Apollo, yeah? Just to wind me up, right? Right? Why'd you make it out? 3-syllable Essex out. Why'd you make it out? Why'd you make out? Right? Why'd you make out? I'm not a loving father. I'm like, where is this coming from? This is quite late in my childhood for this type of closure, and us men, we have to pretend we don't want it, but you do want to hear it. If you're 50 and your dad's 70, you'll cry like a bitch if he uses the L word. Right? Why'd you make out? I'm not a loving father. And I leant in for what I thought was going to be my closure. Do you know what came out of his mouth as his masculinity kicked back in? Why'd you make out? I'm not a loving father. Why, Dad? Yeah, I never bloody hit ya. That was it. That's the total skills it takes to be father of the year. Just don't beat your offspring in the face. That's all. I've not smashed my son's head in. Here comes Scylla with an award. Right? But he backed it up. It got better. Do you know why? Do you know why I never hit you? Do you know why? And I leant in. Why, Dad? I could have almost said, Daddy. I'd regressed so much at this point. Right? You know what it's like? You're 8. If you've got a dad like mine, you're 8 when he looks at you. You'll always be 8 until he dies. Why? Do you know why I never hit your boy? Why, Dad? And this is what came out of his mouth, and I was waiting for the love again. It's because if I'd started, I wouldn't have effing stopped. Murder! That's murder!
I don't know how my mum coped with 4 children. I can't cope with 2. And it was hard in lockdown, wasn't it? It was hard. And I think, and to know what to do with your children half the time. People got really upset when the playgrounds got closed. Not me. I was delighted. I hate playgrounds. Have you been to a playground? And if you don't have kids, what are you doing at a playground, mate? It's weird. You might not know this if you don't have children, but there is nothing for you to do there. And they know that grown-ups are there, they know that adults are there, but there's nothing for you to do there. And you're not just there for a couple of hours, you're there for days, weeks, months. You're there for years of your life, and you're bored out of your bloody brain, just thinking, Jesus Christ, has time stood still? You think they'd create some sort of makeshift shed where they're selling neat gin, but there's nothing to distract you from the tedium of being in a playground. And for the first 2 years of your children's lives, you have to follow them around these places because you don't want them to die. So you're like, Danny, please be careful on the apparatus, on the climbing. Mama's here, Mama will catch you. But you know what? My children are 6 now, nearly 7. You think, great, you can just piss off! Yeah! Piss off! And leave me alone to my thoughts! They don't, do they? They don't, because somehow we've created 2 little narcissists. So it's not enough that they're up a slide if I'm not fucking watching them! All you can hear in the playground is this, look at me, 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 look at me. Mama, will you look at me, 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 look at me. Mama, I'm gonna get on the slide, I'm gonna get on the slide. Will you watch me get on the slide? Mama's gonna watch you get on that slide, darling. Oh, well done. Really well done, darling. That was absolutely wonderful. Mama, I'm gonna get on the slide again. I'm gonna get on the slide. Will you watch me get on? I'm watching you go down that slide, darling. I'm gonna get on the slide again. You're not watching me. I am. I'm totally watching. I'm gonna get on the slide again. Watch me get on. I'm gonna watch you go down the slide. Oh, twice in a row. How did you do that? What an achievement. Absolutely incredible, Dan. Mama, I'm gonna get on the slide again. I'm gonna get on the slide again. Will you watch me get on the slide? Mama, you're gonna watch me get on the slide. I'm gonna get on the slide again. Will you watch me? I tell you what Mama's gonna do.
One of the major good things that's come out of it is how we've embraced new technology. Isn't it? Because it's just unbelievable. Who knew what Zoom was 2 years ago? None of us. Like last week, I had to do a speed awareness course online. Now, you should be doing that on something called Zoom, but that's the world we're in now. It's the world we're in. I've got a phone that can recognise my face. That already makes it better than my nan. Come on! I embrace new technology. I do, because could you imagine if this pandemic had happened like 30 years ago? No internet, no Zoom, no Pornhub. I don't know why I looked at you, sir, but I did. Because I think we've forgotten, here in 2021, we've forgotten what really being bored feels like. Like proper bored. My friend's little boy said the other day he gets bored waiting for an app to load. Fuck off, mate. That is not boredom, is it? I'm talking Sunday afternoon in the 80s. That was boredom. When it was raining, you'd read every book in the house. I grew up in Maidstone. That's a Mills and Boon and an Argos catalogue. Your mum's watching something black and white on the only telly in the house, so you listen to your Walkman for a bit, but the batteries are dying, so Madonna's Like a Virgin sounds like Barry White singing it. You can't go and buy more batteries. countries, can you? You can't, because all the shops are shut. And I mean, all the shops are shut. Even the petrol stations are shut. And then when you think your day can't get any more tedious, your dad would go, get in the car, everyone. We're going to go and visit someone. That's what we do, isn't it? On a Sunday afternoon in the 80s, we would visit people for no reason other than to ruin their day. Do you know what? Young people don't believe this when you tell them, we never told them we were coming. Could you imagine doing that to someone today? They'd be livid, wouldn't they? We used to spend every Sunday with people wishing that they'd hoovered and we'd fuck off, didn't we? The only people who phoned ahead in the 1980s were the IRA. Fact. I wouldn't be a teenager now, though, would you? I wouldn't be a teenager now. When I think of the things I did when I was a teenager, the thought of that being on the internet forever makes me feel physically sick. It does. The way they have to communicate with each other is something I just can't understand. You know, sexting. I couldn't write a sext. I don't know what to put in a birthday card. When I was a teenager, if I wanted to leave a sexy message for a boy, I'd have to ring his landline and leave a message with his mum. You want to what, dear? All over your what? Different times, isn't it? Different times. There was a boy I fancied at school. I couldn't text him to write him a note, stick it in his school bag. And I'd make him a mixtape. Write him a poem. That's all we had, didn't we? I genuinely think a 14-year-old girl today, she would be more freaked out if you sent her a poem than if you sent her a picture of your knob. Poem would freak her out more. She'd be with her friends going, I mean, it was like a song, but it wasn't a song. And there was no cock in it. Not even a bollock, no. Different times, you know. Apparently, young people today, they are most likely now to have their very first sexual experience online. Do you know that? Via FaceTime or Skype. They're not even in the same room. You've got one teenager in this house on their phone and the other teenager in this house on their phone, and that's how they're having their first sexual experience. And I just think, do you know what? Getting fingered behind a caravan at a fairground is not ideal. But at least I was getting some fresh air.